Hi John and Marnie. This video is the first day, and this is a section between Perth and Blairgowrie, where you both did a section of that for me. Myself, it was just a short assessed ride to see at what stage you were at. So this is approaching the Nationals, John, and I'll just be talking about your positioning, observations and other bits and pieces to show you where you might have improved and where you did improve in the second day. So we're coming around here to the Nationals. See the signs right there on the left. So accelerate through the Nationals. If you look at your position here, you're almost slap bang in the middle of your lane, where you would have had a better view had you been on the near side for the right hand. Road's coming back up here, you'll see from a left hand bend, we've got normal centre lines. In fact, they're now changed to hazard lines. And we're warned of this bend. So position after the inbound car would be to the offside for better views around this. You move out there a bit, that's quite good. And then you move away from the inbound car. That was really good, that. There's quite a lot of standing water here and there, so that will affect your positioning. Generally, we would like to position for best views round bends. But on a wet day like this, that will be affected by the road surface. So we look to keep the bike on the best available road surface. However, there are sections of this road, particularly here, where both sides of your lane, offside and near side, are almost as good as the central part that you're in quite a lot. So you would have no real benefit of maintaining that central position. Particularly here in this right-hander, you remain central all the way around, which means you can't plan ahead early. Now look at this, we're coming to a double bend. Look at your head looking all the way across. You're looking to see where the road's going, and then we deal with the bend. So that's good positioning round there. Fairly rapid road surface, however, with the speed we went, it didn't really affect us. And we're now into the second feature of the double bend. Bolt slow. Remember I said link that to junctions, and there's a junction on the left, apexing away from that if there's any debris. So making a bit of progress up here, and we're slowly catching the car in front. Loop across to the 2 o'clock, you can see a house up there. There's going to be a junction leading to that, and there might be debris there, and we'll be watching for vehicles entering or leaving that junction. Tree lines, double tree lines and hedge lines are good things to look for. So any chance you get on a stretch of road like this, look through the gaps in trees and hedges, see if you can see where your road's going. Any rooftops, man-made things, you can see the house at 11 o'clock there. We're looking for a junction and pedestrians and vehicles will be running about. So we can see the road's going round to the left. We've got a bolt slow, there could be another junction, there it is. In fact now it's going round to the right, it's a double bend, so you're moving into the near side, that's good. You'd be looking to hold that line there, but see how you come offline early round here. If you'd stayed near side you would have had a better view where the road's going. Out here you would really want to be offside, you're moving out there, that's good. But again you're back into central for this right hand bend. Now had you stayed near side you would have seen that white van slightly earlier. If he'd been moving out from that junction that would give you an earlier indication and you'd be able to plan for that earlier. So you can see that by moving your machine using the whole width of your lane, you can optimise your observations and plan your ride earlier. So that's good positioning around here. You're well away from the inbound cars, but it's still giving you a good view into and around the corner. The lens is now covered up with some rainwater. I'll just wait until that clears before we continue. Of a junction here, should be looking to locate that and check it from the bellmouth back. There it is, and it's checked and cleared. Bolt slow, and we've got countdowns for step down in speed to 30. So by reacting early we can avoid unnecessary braking and just decelerate using acceleration sense to end in the 30s. That's a fairly short section. I've got another video after this one where I've got a wee bit more input on that video for you, and you will see a big advantage to the positioning then. So at this point we changed over and I asked Barney to come to the front. So we're still in the 30s. Within the 30s, we're positioned more for hazards than for observations, because there are more hazards in built-up areas. We keep our observations closer, so we don't have to worry about moving the bike from near side to offside. However, there's the Nationals. Through them, and look how you're central all the way around this bend. I'm into the near side, and look at the better view I'm getting around this corner than where you are. So again, look ahead, the road's coming back from another right hand bend. You can see a white house indicating a farm on that junction. So we're looking for mud and debris, perhaps tractors moving. So you're well away from the standing waterway, that was good. But towards the end of the straight, if you moved into the near side, you would have a much better view round this corner. It's the first of a double bend. So I'm into the near side already, look at the view I'm getting round there. Now come across to the offside for the left hand bend, and had you been in the offside for the left hand bend again, you're increasing your views into and around the bend, allowing you to plant your right earlier. Again, although you can see the central part of your lane, the road surface is a bit rougher and better for you in the right. Near side and offside are almost as good in this section of the road, so you're really not benefiting by maintaining that central position. So that was a good overtake back there. You came out the corner, you had your views, and you went past it into a safe return gap. And that's an important thing. For an overtake, you must have a suitable stretch of road. It doesn't have to be straight, but it has to be suitable. Good near side and offside views, so both sides of the carriageways, and a safe return gap. And you must have all these before you accelerate to make a safe overtake. It's often the case that if there's a vehicle in front overtaking one or two vehicles, the temptation is to follow it through without a safe return gap. But you've got to have that, because if that vehicle in front brakes for some unknown reason, then you could be left stranded out in the opposing carriageway with nowhere to go. So you must have that safe return gap. So looking here, road markings are important to us. The throwback arrows precede the solid white line system there. So while planning an overtake, there's no point in being any closer than the following position when we've got solid white lines. Vehicle ahead braking there. If we react early to brake lights, then it means that we don't have to brake as often ourselves. So he's braking again, so we can check our mirrors and position and at least be ready to decelerate, or even start to decelerate early. Then we don't have to brake. These vehicles are braking for a reason. He's probably just too close to the car in front. But if you see a vehicle ahead of that braking, could well be slowing down to turn off somewhere. And if we decelerate, it will mean we have to brake less. So again, look at your position here. You're almost right out of the white line there. And I'm sure you'll agree, after looking at the second day's riding, your positioning is far better for observations and planning. Got normal centre lines. While you're planning an overtake, it's often a good idea to move to the opposing carriageways where the road markings allow it. So these normal centre lines back there, it's perfectly safe, if there's no other hazards, to hold back from the vehicle that you're looking to overtake and gently move out to the opposing carriageway to get views past it, even just to look for a return gap if you're in a line of vehicles. What you've always got to watch is for a vehicle behind you moving into the gap that you've just moved out of. So this is a fairly advanced technique. demonstrated to you later on in this section, and also in days 2's recording. You'll see me in the opposing carriageway, particularly at one point for a few seconds before you carry out an overtake. So again, the camera's been affected by the rainwater, so I'll just wait till that clears and we'll pick it up again. So you see any gaps and hedges again, I said that already. Try and look through them, see if you can get early indication as to where the road's going. If the road's going left, look left before you get there. So that's a good overtake on 2 there. However, you're braking into the gap between 2 and 3. Would have been better had you started to decelerate. So you accelerate past the first, and as you're coming towards the second, you can just decelerate past him back into the gap in front, provided there's a safe distance between you and the car in front and any inbound vehicles. It's more unobtrusive way of riding, instead of showing brake lights to people that you've just overtaken. It's not always the case that it's possible to do that. However, in that instance, it would have been slightly better had you just decelerated past the second and into the gap behind the red car. So now we're behind the bus and the red car. Again, you're looking for an overtake here. It might not be such a good idea to overtake the car on its own, because that leaves you stuck behind the big bus, which is turning your views right down. So you might want to wait for a section of road where it's safer to overtake them both. But bearing in mind the red car will probably want to overtake the bus as well. So these are all things that we need to think about. It's a fairly dynamic thing, overtaking more than one vehicle. You've got 2 hazards in front of you, and these hazards are changing all the time, the gap between them. And that's not to mention even any inbound traffic. So that was an advanced direction sign for a junction here. We're looking for any of these vehicles in front taking that, or vehicles at the junction pulling out ahead of us. However, there it's checked in clear. See the guy with the fluorescent jacket on there, who's a marshal for some cycling event. And here's the cyclists coming, so we'll be anticipating seeing more later on. So that may affect our overtake later. So we're coming up to a set of traffic lights here again. If we react to the red brake lights early, it means we don't have to brake quite so much. So we're going to be coming smoothly to a halt in first gear on the rear brake. You remember I spoke to you about that. Below 20 miles an hour, it's a good idea just to ease off the front brake and increase the rear brake, so that you're doing all your braking on the back brake only down to a halt. It's more stable for yourself and the machine, and also if you're braking to come to a halt on a hill, you're in first gear, you don't have to try and juggle the front brake and the throttle to pull away. So as we come over this bridge, you should be looking left and right to see if you can see where the road's going. Usually you'll get a junction at or near a bridge like this, because there'll be another road possibly following the river somewhere. So one of these vehicles may take that, and if they don't, we'll be planning an overtake. You see, we're warned of a double bend, so I'm thinking I'll be planning the overtake out the second feature of the double bend. There's no point in being any closer to these vehicles before that, so we'll just maintain a following position. It's a safe position to be in. Behind them gives us time to react. We know that the overtake's not going to present itself until after the second feature, so it'll be the left-hand bend. So we'll be looking for the solid line ahead changing. As you see that, they then move up into an overtaking position perhaps. Get your views, it's not on however, so we'll then check our mirror position and drop back until we decide it's going to be on again. So we've already looked ahead, the road's going to go right to the right up here, so it may well be after the right-hand bend. And planning continues, we move up, drop back, and may well even move out to opposing carriageway at some point, which I'll demonstrate shortly. So the junction on the left, checking it, it's active, but there's no real rotation, and we're safe to continue. Again, your positioning here is fairly constantly in the sort of central to offside position there. You could perhaps increase your views by moving into a near side and looking down the near side of the bus. You might see a warning sign ahead or a junction that you can't see from your position there. However, we're coming along here, we're looking for that solid line changing, and we're looking to plan an overtake after that. Again, looking at any gaps in the hedges for any junctions or an indication indication as to where the road's going. We've got a crossroads coming up, so the overtake may present itself after this. So we'll go out to the offside and have a look past. You can see you squinting your head past. Any inbound vehicles, count them past and move away from them. And wait till the last one comes past before you go out for a look. I see how I moved out. I've got inbound vehicles, so I come back. So by holding back, I can go to the opposing carriageway safely. So I'll do it again here, just to give you an indication as to how safe it is. As long as you're far enough back, the road markings allow it. I'm now going to slide out after the inbound car. Now look at the view I've got by moving to the opposing carriageway.